no packet. All right, so I did a few of these. We reviewed, thankfully, the stuff that you were supposed to do in Algebra 1. Okay, number 1, what can I cancel out? The 4s, right? What am I left with? X over Y, right? Okay, number 2. What can I take out? It's just your notepad that in the page 1. That's your practice packet. All right, I can take out one of the x's, right? This is x to the first, x to the second. I'm left with x to the first. What's my answer? 3x over 5. Okay. Hopefully, you guys got that down between yesterday's class and your practice work. Or okay, here's new stuff. Here's Algebra 2. All right, we can also factor out quantities or cancel out quantities to simplify. Now, be careful, okay? If you have a plus or minus sign between a variable and a number, it is considered a quantity or parentheses around them. Most students, I tell most students to actually go ahead and put parentheses whenever you have two terms, so you don't accidentally cross things out. Okay. Now, number 3, what can I cancel out from top to bottom? The quantity x plus 3. Well, we can, and I'm going to show you how to do that a little later. The quantity is x plus 4. What am I left with? Right. Okay, now, you can leave your answer like this, but this is where students fall into that trap. They look at this and say, hey, I can cancel out the x's and have negative 4 over negative 3. There's a plus or minus sign between the two terms. Yeah, these are actually quantities. Now, you could leave it like this, but just don't cross out those x's. But I tell students, go ahead and put parentheses around there to prevent you from crossing those out. Okay? Huh? You could leave it like that. But what happens is students see that X and they like to cross that out. Okay, so gotta be careful. Yeah, either one of these is fine. But I like students to have them put parentheses around it so they don't make the mistake of crossing the X's out. Okay. Now, number 4, this is where the fun stuff starts. More funner. Factoring. What can I factor out of the numerator or top? It's x, right? What am I left with? X plus 5. In fact, I'm going to read. I'm just looking at the numerator. I'm factoring the numerator. I took out a factor of x. I took out a common factor of the x squared and the 5x. Okay. All right. What I did was I undistributed it. right? If I were to distribute this, I get x squared plus 5x. Okay? So I am replacing this with x times x plus 5. Now I have multiplication between my x and the x plus 5, don't I? Now I can cancel out as long as I have multiplication. So I can take out one of the x's. And what am I left with? And again, if you're one of those people that like to, well, there's an x there I can cross out, put parentheses around the quantities to prevent you from crossing that out. Okay? Because that's what we did. We factored out an x. All right. Now, hopefully you guys got your factoring skills back in order, right? Number 5, we have to simplify these. This is one fraction. Well, we're going to have to go back to this, make quantities out of them so that we can cancel out. So let's factor the numerator. How do I get x squared? X times x. They have to multiply to a negative, so it's got to be positive negative, and add up to -4. So the factors of 12 that add up to 4, or subtract the 4, 6 and 2. We want the 6 to be negative and the 2 to be positive. So there's my factored form for the numerator. What? X and the 4 out. Well, you want me to take an x out of, and what do you want me to do next? Yeah, but now I blocked that 4 in parentheses. So I can't. Number 2? Well, that was all multiplication, though. There's no addition or subtraction in this problem. So that's why I can actually go ahead and do the x's. But yeah, there's subtraction or addition in there. I got a factor. Okay. Oh, by the way, the denominator. What kind of quadratic do I have here in the denominator? X squared minus 4. A difference of squares. Okay. X plus 2, x minus 2, right? Difference of squares. Now we can cancel, right? And we end up with x minus 6 over x minus 2. And if you're one of those students that like to cross x's out with minus and plus signs, you can put parentheses in there to prevent you. I don't know either. Okay, number 6. Can we factor the top? No. Can we factor the bottom? Yes. According to your float. Jacob, stop acting like my sophomores. Excuse me, stop acting like my freshmen. What? Where are we? We're in number 6. Okay. Guys, quiet down. All right. I cannot factor the numerator. Can I factor the denominator? Yes, according to my flowchart card, I can take out a what? I can take out an x. Anything else? A 5. I can take out a 5x. 2x squared divided by 5x is 2x. 15x divided by 5x is I can't, that's simplified. I can't factor anything out of there. Now, since I have multiplication now, I can cancel out 5 and an x, right? So I'm left with x to the first over 2x plus 3. This is not easy stuff, guys. Okay? This, like I said, this is probably hard. No, you guys are not using photo math on quizzes. All right, number 7. Number 7. What do I have on top? Yeah, what are those difference of squares? So I have an x plus 3, x minus 3, because that 9 is 3 squared. And can I factor the bottom? In fact, I can't even cancel anything out. So I'm just going to put in what I have. X plus 3, x minus 3 over 2x plus 1. Can't simplify that one. Okay, number 8. Factor the numerator. See, x times x gives me x squared. It's a positive, it's a negative, so they multiply to a positive, but add up to a negative, so they have to be negative times a negative. 2 factors of 24 that add up to 10. 6 and 4. Okay, factor the denominator. Isn't this fun? More funner? Okay, x times x. Yep, one's positive, one's negative. Okay, that means we're going to be subtracting the factors as well. 6 and 2. Let's see, our 6 has to be negative because it's negative 4. Positive 2. Okay, what can I cancel out? And I'm left with x minus 4 over x minus, or x plus 2. Doable so far? Yes, it does work. Don't push it. Yes, ma'am. You're going to need this and for the next math courses. You keep asking me this, and I keep telling you, you have to, if you don't want to learn this, you have to write your congressman. Because they're the ones that make the laws. All right, number 9. Okay, yesterday I was teaching you guys to cancel out factors, then multiply straight across, right? Now, guys, quiet. Let's cancel out some stuff here. Hey, let's start with the numbers. 5 goes into 10 how many times? Twice. 2 goes into 6 how many times? 3. Okay, I have how many x's here? 1. So I'm going to take out one of the x's on top. Gives me x to the first. Okay, how many y's do I have here? 3. And actually, how many do I have up on top here? 3 of them. So all of these wipe out, right? Can I cancel anything else? I got rid of all the y's on top. I got rid of all the x's on the bottom. We're good to go. So I have x times 3 times, well, let's put 3. What? X to the what? X to the first times x cubed. X to the fourth. Okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a different way, and this second way probably will make more sense for you. Okay, so that's canceling out before you multiply. Okay, now let's do it the other way. Let's multiply and cancel out. Okay. All right. 16 times 1 gives me 16 on top. 5 times 80 gives me 400 on the bottom. X cubed times x to the fifth. Add the exponents, I get x to the eighth. And then I have y to the eighth on top. Y to the ninth times y to the first gives me y to the 10th on the bottom. Add the exponents, and I have x cubed on the bottom. Hang on. I'm not done. I have to simplify. What's 16/400? Well, that's easy because I can put that in my calculator, right? So I got to put 16 divided by 400. Hit math, enter, and I get 1/25. So I have 1/25. Okay. Now, my x's. Larger exponent on top, so my x is going to be on top. 8 minus 3. My y's. My larger exponent on the bottom. 10 minus 8. 2. And I'm done. Yes. I am used to doing this, and a lot of it I do in my head, so I will try to do this when I can. Okay? Yes. Number 11. Okay, 6 times 10, 60. 2 times 18, 36. X squared times x to the third, x to the fifth. Y cubed times y to the fourth, y to the seventh. X squared, well, that's all. Y to the fourth. Okay, 6036. 5/3. See, my larger exponent for the x's is on top. 5 minus 2 is 3. My larger exponent for the y's is on top. 7 minus 4 is 3. Much easier to understand. Let's do number 12. 15 times 12 is a really big number. 15 times 12. 180. X squared times x squared. And I only have the one y. 4 times 5. Okay. 180 divided by 20 is actually 9/1. I'm sorry, by 20. X's stay on top. 4 minus 2 is 2. And actually, my y's cancel. So that's my answer, 9x squared. Bless you. Okay, are you ready, folks? No, you got one more. Tomorrow's a work day for you, so. Number 13, now we get to multiply them. Now, these are going to have to factor and then cancel out before you multiply. Otherwise, you're going to be dealing with, guys, what? Otherwise, you're going to be dealing with huge polynomials. Okay, 13, what can I factor out of 4x minus 4x squared? And x, what else? And a 4. So I have 4x divided by 4x is 1, minus 4x squared divided by 4x is x. And what about the denominator? X times x, that's the minus, so 1's plus, 1's minus. 3 has to be positive. Okay, what about the top of the second one? Uh, 2 and 3, 3 has to be positive, right? There's nothing we can do with that. Okay, now we have to cancel out before we multiply. Well, now this is really important because this is going to pop up every once in a while. 1 minus x and x minus 1 look really close, right? They're not the same. But there is one way I can make 1 minus x into x minus 1. Just take out a negative 1, right? If I take out a negative 1, I will get negative 1 plus x, right? I change the signs, which is x minus 1. Okay. So all I have to do here is just put a negative 1 out in front. Okay? And when that happens, I can actually cancel out my factors then. Okay? What else could I take out? X plus 3 I can cancel out. And 4x. Okay, so I'm left with negative 1 times x minus 2. And I canceled out the bottom, so that's just over 1. That's it. I'm done. All right, number 14. Back to the top. In fact, we just factored this, didn't we? Same thing as over here. So that's x plus 3, x minus 2. The second fraction, I could take out a 2 and get x plus 4. And then I can factor out the bottom. X times x. That's a plus, so I have plus plus. And 3 and 4, right? Okay, let's cancel out the x plus 3, x plus 3, x plus 4, x plus 4, and got a 2. And I'm left with x minus 2 over x squared. Yep. All right, we're not going to do 15 because it's ungodly long. And number 16. Okay, this is like a whole number, so I'm going to put it over 1. Now, here we have a sum of cubes. And since I have my flowchart, factoring flowchart in front of me, I know that a cubed plus b cubed equals a plus b times a squared minus ab plus squared. Now, 16, denominator here, what's my a? 3 cubed x cubed, so it's 3x. What's my b? 8 is 2 cubed, so my b is 2. Okay, I'm going to rewrite this. So I have x plus 2 over a plus b, a plus b over, times a squared, 3x squared, 9x squared, minus a times b is 6x, plus b squared is 4, times 9x squared minus 6x plus 4 over 1. Hey, what happened here? These trinomials cancel. What's my answer? Questions, comments, concerns? Sure, you want the assignment first? So your practice work. Let's see, you're going to do page 534, 8 through 18 evens. And then you're going to do 8.4 practice. You're going to do 1 through 8. Okay, so page 531, 8 through 8, 18 evens, and 8.4 practice worksheets 1 through 8. Now, it's going to take you a little bit of time. So you are going to have the entire period tomorrow to do this. ¿Comprendes? Aye, aye, Captain.